Okay, let's get into this. We all see it in the news every day, right? You read an article and you wonder, how neutral is this source, really? Is it leaning left, leaning right? Mostly, we just go with our gut feeling. But what if you could actually use data, hard numbers to see the landscape? That's exactly what we're diving into today. It's this really fascinating project where data scientists mapped out media partisanship. They used digital footprints from millions of users on Yahoo News Japan. Think of this as kind of shortcut, moving past opinion to see the structure underneath. So what's the big idea behind it all? How did they start? Well, the raw material was just enormous. Over 90 million comments. These are comments left on Yahoo News Japan articles between March 2024 and June 2025. Now, try not to picture a massive spreadsheet. Instead, think of it like a giant digital party. In this party analogy, the news articles are the rooms, right? Different spaces. And the users, they're the guests, mingling around, talking. Every comment a guest leaves in a room creates connection, a link. It builds this living map of who's talking about what and with whom. And the core intuition behind it is pretty simple. You are where you comment. The places you engage show your leanings.
Exactly. And what's really cool is how they analyzed this giant digital party. They used a powerful algorithm, one you actually interact with all the time, probably without realizing it, Google's original PageRank. You know, the thing that ranks web pages based on simulating a random surfer clicking links? Well, they took that basic idea and gave it a really clever twist. Instead of a completely random surfer, they invented what they called a biased surfer.
Biased surfer, yeah.
Yeah. So imagine this surfer has a preference, like a political home base. Most of the time, it follows comment links like the original PageRank surfer. But every now and then, it sort of teleports back to its preferred political neighborhood. This makes the importance score it generates not general, but relative to that specific bias. Importance for the left-leaning crowd or importance for the right-leaning crowd. So how did they actually put this into practice? Let's break it down a bit. Step one was defining those home bases. Where does the surfer teleport back to? They used AI for this, specifically large language models, or LLMs. These are those really advanced text analysis tools.
Ah, right. To read the news.
Pretty much. They fed it hundreds of thousands of article headlines, and the AI helped label them left, right, or neutral. That gave them their starting points, the political anchors. Then came step two, the two-surfer experiment.
Two surfers.
Yep. One biased towards the left home base, the other towards the right. They let both these surfers loose on the network of users and comments. They follow the links, occasionally teleporting back home, spreading influence. It's an iterative process, mathematically. And this generates two scores for every single user and every single article, a PageRank left score and a PageRank right score. Finally, step three, calculating the actual partisanship score. They used a neat little formula. Take the right score, subtract the left score, and then divide that by the sum of both scores.
Okay, so right plus left.
Exactly. And what that does is elegantly map everyone onto a scale from Monica 1, which is the most left-leaning,
Yeah.
all the way to +1, the most right-leaning. 0 is, well, perfectly neutral in the middle.
That makes sense. A single number to place everyone. So they run these biased surfers through this giant digital party. What did they find? What insights came out? Well, first off, the algorithm worked. It produced these partisanship scores for millions of users and articles. And one really interesting observation was that the political polarization in Japanese media, at least based on this data, it doesn't seem quite as stark, maybe not as explicitly divided as what you might see in the U.S. media landscape, for example.
Right. And zooming out from individual users and articles, the really fascinating picture emerges when you look at the news agencies. They aggregated all those article scores for over 400 different news agencies. This created what they called a news agency partisanship map.
Okay, so visualizing the agencies themselves.
Precisely. Imagine a chart. The horizontal axis is that partisanship score, MIGAT 1 to +1, left to right. The vertical axis shows the number of articles each agency published that's on a log scale to handle the big differences in volume. Then each agency is a bubble. The size of the bubble shows public engagement, how many total comments its articles got. And the color tells you the leaning, blue for left, shifting towards brown for right.
Wow. Okay, so you can see leaning, output volume, and engagement all at once.
Exactly. And they validated it too. They marked well-known, established media outlets with triangles on the map. And generally, these known outlets landed where you'd kind of expect based on common perceptions. That definitely builds confidence in the model. But what was really striking was seeing where some of the most read, highest volume agencies ended up. Many clustered surprisingly near the center.
So high volume doesn't automatically mean extreme partisanship, at least not there.
It suggests a more nuanced dynamic, perhaps.
That's incredibly detailed. And you mentioned something about an interactive version.
Yes. They built an interactive partisanship compass based on this map. It's not just a static picture. You can actually explore it.
So you can mouse over the bubbles.
Hover over any agency's bubble, and you see its name, its exact score, its article count, its comment count. It really lets you dig in and see those complex relationships between slant, volume, and audience engagement for yourself. I think this whole project really highlights how powerful data analysis can be. It cuts through the sheer noise of information overload. It gives us clear, quantifiable insights in areas where normally we'd just be guessing or going on feelings. It's a new lens, really.
That's a great way to put it. A powerful new lens. So, thinking about that lens, here's something for you, the listener, to consider. How could this biased surfer idea, this way of mapping digital interactions and leanings, how might that apply elsewhere, beyond just political news?
Well done.
What about other kinds of information you consume online? What does it mean for how you engage with content and maybe the opinions you end up forming? Definitely something to think about.